have our tax agent Karla Dennis here to talk more about tax season, even though it's over. We're talking about why it's important to prepare now, and we are talking about that really important deadline for specific individuals. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You can already say I'm stressed out and flustered by this whole thing. Taxes, just, you know, it's kind of a pain, but luckily we have people like you to help us out. So why, I mean, I feel like this is a given, but how do you convince us procrastinators to get a head start on our taxes?
The best way to convince you to get a head start is to really think about the more you plan, the bigger the refund.
Oh.
Historically, from doing tax returns, I can tell you that the clients that plan all year long get the bigger refunds. The clients that procrastinate end up owing a little bit more on their taxes.
Well, that's what happened to me. Okay, so when you say prepare, what does that look like? Are we saving receipts? Are we jotting? Like, what is that process?
The process really requires you to plan all year. So it's figuring out if you're going to owe or not based on the income that you're going to make. If you're a W-2 wage earner, you could probably forecast your income. If you're a business owner, you could probably forecast your income. The thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to get back a bigger refund because you could have invested that money in something else, and nor do you want to owe IRS because there's penalties and interest. So really just first figuring out if you're going to owe and how much is important, and then from there, get with a tax professional to use the tax code to reduce your tax bill. There's so many avenues that we can go down. We just haven't been trained to go down them.
I'm so glad you're here. Okay. What are some of maybe the biggest mistakes or the biggest things that you see that people come to you when it comes to their taxes?
Using last year's tax laws is one of the biggest mistakes I see. Taxes are changing all the time, constantly. It makes my head spin. And I'm a professional in this, right? But people go by old tax laws, assuming that certain things are no longer a write-off, or assuming that things that could be a write-off are not a write-off. That is one of the mistakes I see, not understanding where to put their deductions on their tax return, eliminating deductions that they could have, not understanding there's tax credits that are dollar for dollar when it comes to tax. It's just really being uneducated is the big deal.
Well, I feel like you're speaking straight to me. Okay, so even though, you know, for most of us, the tax season is already passed, but we do have some people who need to make sure that they get this all in now. What's your advice to people when it comes to taking a look at their taxes, you know, because it can be intimidating? What do you think?
The thing that I would say right now, the biggest thing that anyone can do is honestly get themselves organized. If you're on extension and you need to file those taxes by September 15th, October 15th, take the time right now to get organized. You're probably on extension because you didn't have your paperwork together or you were fearful of having to pay. Organization is the key. If you can take the time, and I tell people, use my 12 by 12 system.
Oh, what is that?
That is take one day, go through January. Choose a day, go through February's bank account, go through February's credit card statements, look at your checkbook, look at your calendar, and write down all of those things that you forgot. I can't even remember what happened yesterday, let alone what happened in 2023, right? So actually taking that time, but not getting overwhelmed with it. If we have to go through a whole year's worth of tax stuff at once, overwhelming. But if I use 12 days and go through 12 months, 1 month per day, that's like little chunks. I could do that.
And then your anxiety goes down.
Goes way
you're
down.
Not so stressed out.
Yes.
Do you have a book out by chance?
I have a couple of books.
Okay.
So I have,
where can I get my hands on your book?
I have a book called Tax Storm.
Okay.
But I also, if you go to my website, kdainc.com, we have all type of ebooks that you can download that give you all sorts of little tips and tricks to take that anxiety way down and to make taxes fun.
I feel like you brought my anxiety down just being here.
Oh, I'm so glad.
You have great energy. You're so knowledgeable, and you know taxes are no longer going to be scary to me.
Good.
Or to a lot of people probably watching too.
I'm so glad to hear that. They don't need to be because they're not going away anytime soon.
I know.